Hey there, I'm Tony Glynn and welcome along to the PGG Wrightson Stud Tour. Now this week we're at Moto-Nui Romneys Stud. We're up in the Taihape. There's a fair bit of action going on here. Let's go and get amongst it. Jason McGrove here at Moto-Nui Romneys Stud. Whereabouts are we based, Jace?
Ica Station, which is 30 minutes out of Masterton on the boundary of Castle Point in Otahume. So basically still very coastal, Tony, and yeah, we brought this place 4 years ago, coming from Monteneui, which is down the coast a bit further. So yeah, just basically to expand our business. Lots of reasons really. I just felt that we needed to put our sheep into some tougher country. A lot of this easier country now, Tony's taking up with the black and whites of the world. So we needed to test our sheep on hill country. That's where 90% of our clients come from. I feel that farming on the east coast of the North Island is probably the most challenging area you can farm. Yep. And obviously that's my client base, so we needed to stay here. 680 hectares we run here now. Predominantly hill country, but also got some nice river flats, and yeah, good balance for a stud farm. Yep. Very good balance for a stud farm. The ewes spend most of the time on the hill country, come down for single mating. We carry, we're fully recorded here, so everything's got a tag and it's here. Yep. We carry 3,500 recorded ewes, and ram hoggets. Are all based here.
Did you do the big OE thing?
Yeah, no, I was shearing for 7 or 8 years, Tony. Had a shearing business in the northwest of England. Yeah. And yeah, really enjoyed the shearing industry, and yeah, it teaches you a lot of morals, work habits, all that. Yeah, no, obviously coming back to the family farm down Moto-Nui, which was Homewood. Yeah, selling probably 200 rams at the time. And yeah, I suppose me and my dad looked at our business and said, you know, where to? What are we trying to breed? And basically hardiness has always been our biggest thing that we wanted to chase. But I suppose I've learnt from my dad is use your eyes and actually, you know, see, you know, it's a lot of actual stuff. We do a lot of actual data. Still's a tool, but yeah, I suppose I did learn from my dad that. Yeah, use your stockmanship skills.
John McGrove, you've been involved in the stud industry in New Zealand for a long time. When did it all start, John?
It virtually started, Tony, from when I applied for a job at Wairiri in 1974. And I worked for John for 8 years. And in that time I became very involved in his Romney breeding stud. And in 1982, John decided it was time that we went and bought a farm. Yep. And we finally found one out at Moto-Nui at Homewood. And when I left Wairiri, I bought about 250 ewes from John, and he supplied me with them rams, and that's how we started. And it was really the Taihape Romney Improvement Group that got hold of it and changed the shape, changed the whole structure of the Romney.
So how does it actually work, the development group, John?
The development group had a flock of ewes that was started off with by each member putting in 50 ewes into the group, and that gave us about 250, 300 ewes to start with. And our aim at that time was to try and breed a type of sheep that would give a return to the commercial farmer, and woolage was a secondary type of income, and it was growth rate that we were trying to strive for. Sheep that would grow very quickly as lambs and be off the farm at weaning or not long after. And the progeny were being killed at Progressive Freezing Works in Hastings, and then we were evaluate the killing trials looking for yields, sheep that would give high yields, and we would select the best 2 or 3 rams of those ones that we used, and they would be spread around our flocks using AI.
What are your main breeding objectives here?
Our main breeding objectives, I suppose that's the question that gets asked all the time. I still hark back to the basics of what we're doing here, Tony. It's the ew's got to wean its body weight. In saying that, we do let a tudu through. That's Scandin lamb as a hogget that has a single. She'll get another shot. Yeah, we will retain probably 80% of our ewes will wean their body weight. And yeah, once again, as I said earlier, that's the risk management that we're trying to produce on this hill country. Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's nothing fancy. It's it's basic, but it seems to work, and we've got some really good data now. 7 years of select mating, also to our more efficient ewes, to our more efficient rams, and I certainly think we're seeing the results. Yeah, you know, we're getting weaning weights now of 35 kilos plus over everything, which I think is pretty impressive on this class of country. We've got our sheep a lot deeper, a lot shorter than the traditional type of Romney ever used to be. That's probably evolved over the last 20 years. I'm finding the good gutted animal tends to hold on in those tough times. And yeah, I suppose it also with that good gut, that good body comes your yield, comes your weight. Yep. They don't look a big sheep, Tony. We haven't got a big sheep here. 62 kilos for us would be light, and 67 or 70 would be fat. Yep. So yeah, our most efficient ewes are around that 65 to 67. People say you need a big ewe to produce a big lamb. Yeah, I don't think really that is the case. How big do we want our sheep to get? I think mothering ability is huge, and we do a lot of culling of our ewes at lamb tagging time. If they don't stand by their lambs or can't count them, they're gone. So
You got a manager here?
Yep, Greg Mackay. He's been with us since we brought Ica. Got a long farming history of farming on his own account, and big with figures. Yeah, attention to detail. Yeah, we do a lot of weighing, all that recording, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, he seems to fit the bill pretty well.
So Moto-Nui Romney stud, it's not a new thing, but interesting way that you're structuring it now, Jace.
I've wanted to concentrate on my Romneys on one block, and it's very easy to lose focus on another breed if it's across the fence. Yeah. So yeah, with the franchising that we have done, going even further with our South Island and our Taihape franchises, it's good to have those sheep in the area. Exactly what I was saying with the Wairarapa and Hawke's Bay. We try to breed a sheep for the area that's going to kick on. Yep. And I don't know Central Otago as well as Bruce does, and I don't know Taihape as well as Donald does. So it's working very well. And then we go into the terminal side of it. Once again, I like to have everything in one block. Davey's been a part of the terminal or the blackface side of it for a while, so we tracked him down, and yeah, that's really evolving very quickly, and it's nice to, like I say, go to a block and fully focus on one breed, and instead of okay, let's get the blackface in here today and work through those, and I suppose too the people, you know, the crossbred side of it with Michael and Kate, and we started that, I suppose, back in the day when it was all fashionable to go crossbreeding. Everyone wanted to ditch the Romneys and ditch the traditional breeds and go crossbreeding. So I suppose it was my dad that said, right, let's have a look at some of these crosses over our Romneys. I suppose if you have your eggs all in one basket in one area, I just don't feel you do the job properly.
So being a satellite stud, how does that work?
Very, very well. The Grove family, lovely family. The deal was just done on a handshake about 8 years ago, and it's just developed from there. And very straight up people, and I agree with their philosophy in breeding sheep, and certainly worked very well for us.
Yeah. Now you were a stud in your own right, obviously before that. What made you make the change?
We could see where Southland was going, and the southern South Island basically with a big dairying influence, and we realised we had to breed a sheep for the hill country. And the type of sheep that they were breeding in the Wairarapa suited our philosophy really, and certainly it's proven to be so.
Nothing too big?
No, just robust, easy-doing sheep. We sell a lot of rams into central Otago, south and west Otago, up into the hill country, and they're doing very well. The reports back have been fantastic, really.
A lot of lambs on the ground here, good scanning.
Very good scanning, yes. We're scanning in the high 190s year in, year out, so lambs certainly aren't a problem. And the good part is our kill day within our commercial operations come forward 32 days since we've been involved with these, and yet our average lamb weight's gone up over a kilogram in that time, so I think we've certainly proven we were on the right track.
Yeah, you don't miss those big ewes.
No, definitely. We were running 90 kilo ewes, but we're inefficient, eating half as much as a cattle beast, and now we're running ewes that are 65, 70 k's and producing more and giving heavier lambs, so very happy.
On that survivability, a couple of big days of rain just passed.
Oh, huge, and 2.5 inches of rain yesterday, and amazing, it just doesn't knock them over. They want to live and they want to get on the tit and get going, and that's what people are wanting, sheep that can thrive and live.
Yeah, you don't want to see that slinky truck driver smiling, do you?
There's no money in that, is it? You hear a lot of pub talk and a lot of big scans, and people don't get the results at the other end, and it doesn't happen here. We get the lambs through, and they end up going to the works for the right reason, not the slinky truck.
Donald Fannin farming here in Taihape, or just out of Taihape. Family's been here for a while, Donald.
Yes, I'm fourth generation. Late 1800s, my great-grandfather bought this piece that we're standing on. I think it's about the third oldest registered Romney stud in the country. My great-grandfather started to stud here, so there's a bit of history there. I first joined up with first had anything to do with Moto-Nui was in 2006. Went down and bought a single sire from Jason and John LaGroves, and was very impressed with the progeny that left. Tried a few other sires from different studs, but the Moto-Nui sire was by far the most impressive, and I was still recorded then, so he was able to look at my figures, and after a couple of years he asked me if I was interested in going into a bit of a partnership.
Yeah. Big changes from the old Romneys?
Yeah, that was why I went down to the Wairarapa sheep, a bit more high performing and a bit more high efficiency. Yeah, the old Romneys were quite big and slabby and not very fertile.
Yeah.
These sheep, definitely a big improvement.
Now right in the thick of lambing now, a lot of twins about.
Yeah, the stud ewes did very well scanning because they didn't get anything too special at flushing time. They scanned 193%, which I was happy with, and hopefully most of them will survive, depending on Mother Nature.
Yeah.
We had a bit of snow on them, the earlier ones when they were lambing, but didn't sort of take care of too many, I don't think, because I don't want to be breeding from anything that needs to be pampered.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to handle a bit of a pinch and perform. They have very minimal drenching policy on the hoggets. And they don't get a lot of feed either. The ram hoggets don't get a lot of feed until after they're shorn in August, just to cull out anything that hasn't got a good constitution.
So Mike, how does the partnership work here with you and Kate and Monteneui?
Basically, Tony, we're only about half an hour away from the Monteneui farm itself, out of Ica there. So I'll go out there if they need a hand. We like to work in together a bit. They'll come in and give me a hand for docking and things like that involve the stud sheep. And obviously we've got the flock here, so we're tagging from birth. We'll do all the weighing, and eventually, hopefully next year, we'll be selling the rams actually out of Pakaraka, down the bottom there in the wool shed.
Yeah. Now Kate has quite a bit to do with it too in another role.
Yes, she does actually. She's taken up a new role, basically overseeing a lot of the franchise really, and she's jumped at the chance and really enjoying it. And it certainly keeps her busy. Organising Jason is quite a job at times, and she really does it well and gets on with everyone in the franchise, and couldn't be happier. I've been involved with Monteneui roughly over the last 6 years really. Worked on a couple of farms they've owned, and always been a great fan of their stock and their beliefs, and opportunity came up to get involved with Jason and John, and we jumped at it, and loving it so far.
And the breeds there, not just the Romneys?
No, exactly. It's a straight Romney flock base that we've got here, the ewe flock, and they go to 4 different crosses. We've got a half Romney, half Texel, half Romney, half Perrindale, half Romney, 1/8 East Frisian, 1/8 Coopworth and a quarter Texel, and also the half Romney, East Frisian, quartered Texel.
Take a bit of remembering and quite a bit of work.
Does a bit, but yeah, I'm back in the game now, so hopefully I'll get my head around it soon. But you know, as I said, not too many people know that we do sell the composites, and I think there is a very big market there. We're certainly going to grow in numbers, which is the plan.
Davey Moore, beautiful spot you got here. Whereabouts are we, Davey?
We're about 60 k's east of Masterton, and this is the Homewood district that we're sort of looking south, and yeah, it's a pretty nice place to be.
Yeah, you've been here for a few years?
Yep, I've been here all my life. I'm probably 5th generation, so I think the first moors came out in about the 1840s, and so we nestled ourselves in this area.
What are you running on the place?
We've got 2,500 Romney ewes, and that's not counting, that 2,500 ewes is not counting the Suffolk operation.
Yeah.
So with that, we've got probably 240 mixed age ewes, 160 odd tudus, and 220 hoggets.
So you had a good lambing?
Yes, yeah, been awesome. It's been wet, very wet winter in the Wairarapa, but very mild.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been better.
I see you're putting in quite a few shelter belts.
Yes, yep. We get hammered with a southeasterly here, Urity Point, which is where the road that we've driven in on is a point. You actually don't sort of realise it, and a southeasterly can decimate our lambing percent sort of down to 100% quite easily.
Yeah.
So we hope that that's going to be the business. We've planted about 4,000 flax, so watch and see what happens.
Might start a flax mill.
Yeah.
And so how do you fit in with the Moto-Nui?
Well, I was actually getting a little bit sick of the actual breed initially. We were probably selling less rams, and you know, we were down to sort of 30 or 40 rams, and Jace approached me because we already had Suffolk Texel on the ground.
Yeah.
And Jace said, look, you know, why don't we combine the two studs? And we've just gone from strength to strength. So and to me it's been a really positive move. I think last year we sold 210 rams, and this year we're hoping to sell sort of 240, and a lot of the Hogget ram lambs are leased out.
Yeah.
So you know, that's becoming a good part of the operation as well.
So what's your main focus there at Moto-Nui at the moment, Stu?
We mainly concentrate on the ram production side of things in terms of sale rams, so we're making sure that things like the Brucella Ovis status remain as an accredited free stud. They have been for a long time, but part of that process is making sure that when rams go out for leasing, they come back, they're isolated, we blood test them, we make sure that none of them come back with disease, and so that means that Jason and his team, when they're selling rams in November, they can actually sell rams accredited free of this disease, which obviously you don't want to spread around the country. They're regular users of our fecal air counting service, so we're actually making sure that before they drench young stock, they actually need to be drenched. They're regular participants in the fecal air count reduction tests, so we know what their status is, so we can make sure that they're actually using the right drenches on their farm, and also keep them up to date when they're selling sheep, that they quarantine drench them off the property. So as would be with any farmer, they're making sure that when animals leave, they're not actually sending any resistant parasites onto anybody else. Resistance is a widespread issue on a lot of farms in New Zealand, and one of the things that's really important for farmers to do is to make sure they don't share their problems with other people.
Stu Neal, manager here at Castle Point Station. Fairly big place, Stu.
Yep, yeah, it's Castle Point's 3,000 hectares. It's right along the coast here. Winter about 25,000 stock units. So yeah, it's about 14,000 Romney ewes to the ram, and winter about 1,000 head of cattle.
How long have you been here, Stu?
This is my 6th year. Yeah, so coming up 6 years.
But a South Island man at heart.
South Islander, yep, no, true South Islander.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But moved to the Wairarapa to experience Castle Point, and yeah, it's a great opportunity come up, and been loving it.
Yeah. And using a few of the Monteneui rams here.
Yep, we've been using Monteneui rams for it'd be 5 seasons now. Yeah, we're predominantly Monteneui genetics. Yeah, we use their Romneys and their terminal side, the Suffolk Texel rams. Yeah.
So you're getting some good lambs coming through there, docking at the moment?
Yep, yeah, it's been it's been a different season really. We went into the winter with a heap of feed, and we've come out the other end with bugger all. But
yeah,
it was wet and cold. But yeah, the ewes they've held up pretty well. They've treated their lambs pretty well.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, we're seeing some pretty good results, sort of on par with last year. So it looks like probably set to do a percentage of around late 130s.
Yeah. Are they shepherded?
No, we let the girls go to it. Yeah. Don't get out there. Oh, the boys might ride the block every now and then if they've got spare half an hour or so, just to glance over, see what's happening.
Yeah.
But no, we just let them go. Sort of find on this exposed coastal sort of country, like if you'll go and find a sheltered spot behind a rush bush and tuck her lambs up, and 9 times out of 10 you're doing more harm than good if you go and ride round and disturb them and push them out of their sheltered spot.
Yeah.
So we very much leave them to themselves.
So you made that change to the Monteneui rams when you got here?
Yeah, before my time we were in a composite sort of program. We were using a few composite rams, and we'd sort of decided that we wanted to go back to a more traditional breed, and Romneys made sense. So we brought in rams from a couple of different breeders, one of them being Moto-Nui rams. When virtually about when I came here. Yeah.
Because spoilt for choice in the ram department up here in the Wairarapa. Why did you go there?
Well, one of the places we went was Monteneui, simply because Ika's on our boundary.
Yeah.
Very similar country to what we are here.
Yep.
And their rams are all bred at home and stay on Ika, similar sort of country to us. They're put under a fair bit of climatic pressure, and I sort of thought, well, that's pretty important to us because the rams have to shift, and it's a bloody tough environment around here.
Yeah.
So that would be the big thing, like close to home, and just no nonsense sheep really.
Yeah.
Jason's developed a good strong group of people around him, from the marketing team to stock manager, and then right through to his satellite studs, which is quite intriguing what he's done in the South Island and up in Taihape.
And quite an array of rams there too with those satellite farms.
Yeah, the satellite farm's mainly concentrating on the Romney, but what he's doing with his breeding program is quite innovative. He is offering his commercial clients choices.
Yep.
I think with selling the Suffolks and Suftex alongside his Romneys out there at Moto-Nui is very good. He's streamlined the crossbreeding program and at Pakaraka here now with the Toswells, so that's going to be interesting to see that grow and take off as well. So Jason's enthusiasm, he's offering a lot of options for his clients.
Yeah. So the ram selling process here, Jason, you're putting a few through the covered yards here?
Yeah, no, it's obviously it's probably the 3 biggest weeks of our year. As you say, we go back to technology again. It's certainly helped us speed things up to be able to spend time with our clients instead of a number, and that's what we're big on here. The rams will come in, first thing in the morning, get drafted into their groups, go through the computer, and when a ram client turns up here, they'll have a sheet of paper of the rams they're looking at. We have an overhead projector, so the figures are displayed for them on that, so you're not having to go through lots of books, and so it is a big time or a special time of year for guys to come and pick their rams. We don't want to speed it up, but it's currently selling up to 1,000 rams here. Where do I want to head? How much bigger do we want to get? I suppose I don't really think about that too much.
Yeah.
It's day by day,
yeah.
And I keep going back to what we're doing with our partnerships and our franchises. It's about breeding a better product than a numbers game for us, Tony. Yeah, with our 680 hectares here, how much bigger can we get?
You don't want it to be a bloody ram factory.
No. I mean, we don't want to be a factory in general. I suppose I look at this business as quite a family-orientated business, and the people around us. We're not in it for let's look at 2,000 rams in 5 years type thing. I don't think that's going to achieve anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty comfortable with where we're heading and what we're doing. My clients are telling me that. It's about feedback, and it's really exciting.
How do you see the future for the sheep industry, John, from your eyes?
I see the future, Tony, as being very strong. I think the general conception is that there's going to be a worldwide shortage of food, and I see that being a positive thing for New Zealand, whether it be dairying or whether it be sheep. My biggest concern, I suppose, is that we're not getting the young people taking over farms on that. The age of farmers is getting quite high, and but it's very hard for the young people to get into farming.
Yeah.
It's just it's so expensive.
Yeah.
The cost of land. When we went out on our own, it was just my wife Diane and myself that ran the property, and I suppose we ran it until Jason came home in the year 2000. So she and I worked together on everything.
A few scones.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely a few scones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a family affair, and we've got 5 other children, and I suppose Jason was the keenest to take it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a happy journey.
Would you do it all again?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Wouldn't change anything.
For more information on the PGG Wrightson Stud Tour, visit ruraltv.co.nz and come and join us on Facebook.